Imagine you're in a classroom where everyone speaks different languages and your teacher hands out a large instruction sheet to help you build a Lego castle. Some of the words on the sheet might sound confusing or mean different things to different people. To avoid confusion and make sure everyone understands the instructions in the same way, the teacher adds a special note at the beginning. This note explains that certain words should be interpreted broadly. For example, he could also mean she or they, and the term person could refer to either an individual or a company. It also clarifies that titles or headings are just for navigation and shouldn't be relied on to interpret the rules themselves. This approach ensures that everyone is on the same page, regardless of their background. In the same way, Subclause 1.2 in a construction contract helps standardize the interpretation of terms, reducing the risk of disputes and misunderstandings over the meaning of words in the contract.
Subclause 1.2 provides a clear framework for interpreting contractual language to ensure consistency and avoid ambiguity. It begins by establishing grammatical rules, allowing singular terms to include the plural, and masculine reference to encompass feminine or neutral counterparts. It also broadens the definition of person to cover both individuals and legal entities such as companies or authorities. This flexibility is crucial since many roles, like contractor or engineer, might be fulfilled by teams or organizations, not just individuals. These linguistic provisions help avoid disputes rooted in rigid grammatical interpretations. Furthermore, the clause aligns the interpretation of undefined terms with the laws of the governing country or the context in which the term appears. This legal alignment ensures the contract remains in harmony with the local, statutory, and customary understandings, especially when dealing with common but undefined terms like permit or approval. In addition, Subclause 1.2 clarifies that headings and marginal notes are included for ease of reference only and should not influence the interpretation of the substantive provisions. This ensures that contractual meaning is derived from the actual text, not from potentially misleading headings. While the clause does not define technical or industry-specific terms, it reinforces that such language should be understood according to general industry usage, unless otherwise defined in the contract. This provision is especially important in international projects where terminology may differ between regions or disciplines. Overall, Subclause 1.2 functions as a safeguard against misinterpretation, promoting fairness and clarity in the execution and administration of the contract. Another example of this clause is next.
In a construction project in Kenya using the FIDIC 1999 Red Book, a dispute arises when a contractor refuses to follow instructions from a representative of BuildTech Engineering Limited, claiming that only the named individual in the contract data qualifies as the engineer. However, Subclause 1.2 clarifies that the term person includes legal entities like companies, meaning BuildTech and its authorized representatives can act as the engineer. The clause also ensures that references to he or singular terms do not limit roles to a specific gender or a single individual. Similarly, in cases where the contract uses masculine or singular language, such as he for the contractor, Subclause 1.2 resolves ambiguity by confirming that such terms include the plural and all genders, maintaining clarity and consistency in interpretation.
The importance of Subclause 1.2 based on the following reasons. 1. Prevents ambiguity and misinterpretation. Contracts are legally binding, and any ambiguity can lead to disputes. Subclause 1.2 provides a standardized method of reading and interpreting contract language, helping all parties, including international contractors, stay aligned in their understanding, which are often used in multinational projects where parties may come from different legal systems, speak different languages, and apply varied terminology. 2. Facilitates legal consistency with national laws by referencing that undefined terms should be interpreted according to the governing law of the country This clause ensures that the contract doesn't operate in a vacuum. It remains aligned with local regulatory requirements, licensing terminology, and statutory obligations. This reduces the risk that a party could manipulate undefined terms to serve their interests. They must be read in light of local law or general industry practice. 3. Supports efficient contract administration. When administering a contract, engineers, project managers, and contract administrators need to interpret clauses daily. Subclause 1.2 reduces room for subjective interpretation, thereby streamlining correspondence, approvals, variation, and claims processing. It also provides a foundation for dispute boards, arbitrators, or courts to interpret the contract in case of legal conflict. 4. Enhances drafting clarity and legal defense. From a legal standpoint, this clause strengthens the overall enforceability of the contract. If a party later tries to exploit grammatical technicalities, for example number, gender, or legal identity, Subclause 1.2 serves as a protective mechanism. It also shields against bad faith interpretations and helps courts or dispute adjudication boards interpret the contract faithfully in line with its intent, not just its literal wording.